Okay, started the recording. 6S quality process, as I mentioned in the FB, right, is the heart and soul of a new skin. Okay, it defines what really new skin is. It's very unique to new skin, which no other company has, right? Okay, so there are the 6 processes of this new skin when we manufacture a product, and we stick by these 6 steps very, very closely, very, very strictly. That means we do not skip any of the steps. And as I mentioned before, also initially when I started the business, okay, my upline told me about these 6S. As a pharmacist by profession, we are supposed to understand it much better than the layperson. But as I mentioned before, right, actually I have no feelings to the 6S. Okay, I have no feelings to the 6S, and I am very sure that many people who are not medically trained are also not. They have no feelings to the 6S quality process. Yes, yeah, you're only super impressed with 6S only after you understand it. That's right. Otherwise, it's just like, to a lot of people, probably, it's just some tagline, some motto that we just say only. Okay, Taufik have many feelings. Good, because you have the background, you see. So I thought it's good for us to have a session on this 6S quality process so that more of our friends, more of our partners can really fully appreciate what the 6S quality process is, so that you can use the product with confidence, with peace of mind, and you have no doubt recommending it to people around you. Okay, we are not a Me Too company. We are definitely not a Me Too company. We are a company that really sets the standards. Okay, so maybe before I start, right, question to ask all of you here is, how do you select a supplement before new skin, or even now new? Okay, maybe before new skin. So before new skin, right, when you want to purchase a supplement, what is your criteria in choosing the supplement? What do
I
you
asked Rosanna.
ask Rosanna? Okay,
And then Rosanna say choose the expensive one.
yeah, choose something that Taufik says advertisement based on promoter advice. Shuren says see which celebrities endorse. Yeah, because you have no idea, right? We have to follow advice of somebody, or maybe ask the pharmacist for advice. Correct. Fan Wong is it? Or Zoe never eat before. Right. Rosanna said, listen to promoter. Oh, I really don't like promoters. Okay, I find that promoters have very vested interest. So typically for me, promoters words I don't believe at all. Yeah. Ensure whether, Rina says to ensure whether they are clinically and scientifically proven. Wow. Not many people will go to that extent when they choose a supplement. Or sales rep. Okay, say sales rep, not promoters. Yeah, there's a big difference between sales rep and promoters. But sales rep also, they have vested interest because they're promoting their own companies, right? You don't. Zoe also don't like promoters. Rina don't eat or buy on the shelf. Then where do you get your products from, Rina? So Haida asked the pharmacist. Okay. There's one time somebody asked me about supplements. Then I said they're all the same. Okay, when I was working as a pharmacist. So that shows how much we know. You're a good customer. If not good promoter, I will buy. If got good promoter, you will buy. Okay, so you like people to sayang you lah, right? so you can close Taufik easily. Take good care of it. Actually, many consumers are like that. If you take very good care of them, right, they'll buy anything you recommend, right? Because they like you. They buy because they like you. Yeah, Herbalife. Okay, then Zoe says Seamoon. All right. Okay, so you see, these are all the typical decision-making processes we have when we buy a supplement off the shelf. But we don't really, right? So these are the advice we sought. You took Herbalife for 13 years before making a switch to Nu Skin. You are so wise, Rina, right? So today I'm going to share with you what this 6S quality process is so that you can really appreciate why Nu Skin Pharmalex is so different from the others, right? Okay, I just saw that there's this survey by the Hartman Group. Who do consumers trust to offer quality supplements? 74% of them trust completely, or for the most part, manufacturers, brands, or that specialize in supplements. quite understandably, if you are a specialist in supplements, I definitely trust you more than the others. Am I right? Then 56% of consumers trust completely or for the most part major grocery retailers' private label brands. Right? For example, FairPrice, for example, Cold Storage. Okay, this is the trust level. Okay, because they feel that, you know, oh, Cold Storage and FairPrice, if they can bring in a brand, it's trustworthy, isn't it? They won't anyhow sell anything, right? Those promoters who promote cannot make it. Yeah, this is a very interesting finding. So like I said, you know, if you're a brand who specializes in supplements, say for example, if you're in a pharmacy, typically you have what, Shakely, Blackmores and all that, because they specialize in supplements, I would tend to buy that brand versus, for example, Osim. Osim does massage chairs, but they also venture into their own range of supplements. In those days, I'm not sure about not now. Definitely, I won't buy Osim supplements, right? Because they are not specialists in this area. Okay, so this is what drives consumer decision making. Okay, but for me, I usually like to trust science because we are medically trained, so we only believe in scientific facts, right? It's very tough to close pharmacies and doctors because they're very skeptical, because we want to see facts, we want to see clinical studies, etc. Okay, so but most layperson would have no access to science, and even if there are papers given to them, right, they will not be able to dissect out the information. Say for example, right, when this red yeast rice was first introduced to the market many years ago by this particular company, right? And it says it lowers cholesterol very, very well. And they gave us, you know, pharmacy at the store, right? They gave us clinical papers to justify that, you know, red yeast rice really will decrease the cholesterol level, total cholesterol level, LDL level in just 2 months. And it was very impressive because there's clinical papers done by a supplement company. Okay, I was impressed, right? So who knows, right? Fast forward many years later, when I started to start Nu Skin business, and I realized that the clinical reports they gave to us then was actually done on colistin. Okay. Okay, it was actually done on colistin rather than on their brand of red yeast rice. So see, as a layperson, right, when you see a paper like this, you're super impressed by the product. But I want to caution, no, if you're looking at clinical papers, you must look at the study, was it done on a finished product or on the raw materials? Okay, red yeast rice may lower cholesterol, but is it done on your product, on a finished product like colistin, or just general red yeast rice? There is a huge difference. Okay. Okay, Rosanna, not being truthful, the report was on colistin. Yeah, I guess at that point, right, it's not that they are trying to hide or what, you know, but for a supplement to have a clinical report is amazing. It's really amazing. So if I'm a drug company or a supplement company, I will just leverage on the clinical report and sell my product, isn't it? So we have to be a very wise consumer, right? Okay, so we base it on science. Maybe we just watch this very short video done by Nu Skin.
Can we apply pharmaceutical grade technology and safety onto dietary supplements? Years ago, Chief Scientific Officer and Executive Vice President Dr. Joseph Chang and a former partner of ours set out to make dietary supplements safe and functional by incorporating a combination of ingredients from nature as well as Oriental medical knowledge that has been accumulated for thousands of years into modern science. Pharmacologists, biochemists, botanists, biologists, toxicologists, clinicians, and clinical laboratory experts were gathered to research cutting-edge technologies that allowed such supplements to be effectively absorbed into the body. It could have been easier if they had lowered their standards. However, they couldn't compromise. They were fundamentalists who were devoted and endlessly challenged the high standards set by themselves. They created Pharmanex with pride. All the products of Pharmanex must conform to strict standards throughout the process, from selection to substantiation. The 6S quality process, a rigorous standard. key to the consistent quality in our nutritional products. Pharmanex, uncompromising pursuit of higher standards from science research to product development.
Yeah, I think we are very, very blessed to really know this company, Nu Skin and Pharmanex, for what they have done. Just as I mentioned, right, they mentioned so many disciplines of scientists, because developing a supplement is really not about just, you know, anything that sells, anything that's popular, you just package it and then sell as a product. Right. Yeah, this video is wonderful. It's very short and sweet. And I remember years ago, right? What's my next slide? Okay, I remember years ago, the Mei Ling actually went for a job interview with one of the supplement companies in Singapore. And the question she posed to the person hiring is, how do you decide what products to put on the shelf? And the guy just answered, anything that's popular. So if that at a point, right, CoQ10 is a popular thing, right? They will just package and then sell you CoQ10. That's all. Okay, so there is a huge difference between a science-based company and a commercial-based company. Commercial-based is anything that sells, that makes profit, they will do it. But science-based, if you look at Pharmanex, our supplements, we have very limited types of supplements on the shelf, right? We have very limited, you know. But if you go to a pharmacy, right, very easily, any brands, you can see one whole plain end, one whole unit, one whole gondola units, okay? Because they have so many types. But if you look at limited, multi-vitamins, multi-mineral product, only Life Pack. The rest will have senior, junior, women, men, general, etc., etc. Okay, it's all marketing to sell you something that to create the demand. Okay, so for Pharmanex, right, science-based company, they believe all humans are the same, right? Fish oil, marine omega, we only have one type. For men, for adults and for kids, same. For infants, same. Because we're all human beings, we just adjust the dosage only. Okay, you understand me? Okay, then this particular slide, right, Chinese medicine, the battle for acceptance. I put here because there is a lot of wisdom from TCM, but TCM is not widely accepted by the medical field because there is no standards. Okay, if you have something that I do not know whether every single capsule is the same, I wouldn't dare to use it for my patient. As simple as that. I like drugs. You know, drugs, you know, paracetamol, 500 milligram, you have 500 milligram, maybe plus or minus 1 or 2 milligram. But you know, every single capsule is 500 milligram. I give 2 capsules, 8 hours, 8 hourly, you'll bring the temperature down. Okay, but for TCM, right, the medical field has no idea, you know, what product is good for what purpose, because there is no standards in the products. So whatever reports that you receive, sometimes Lingzi, you use it on this particular condition, it has positive results. Sometimes it has negative results. Sometimes it has inconclusive results. So if I'm a medical doctor, I cannot trust all these reports, right? I will tell you, don't take it because it has not shown to be beneficial because the product is not standard. Meaning, not every capsule is the same. So if this capsule that I'm doing an experiment on has the required dosage, then it probably will yield a positive result. But then this particular batch I'm using, right, if it has don't have the kind of dosage inside, right, it will use a negative result. Or sometimes this particular batch, right, some has, some do not have the required dosage. It comes out, some positive, some negative, so it's inconclusive result. You understand what I'm trying to say? The photo looks bitter. Okay, all right. Yeah, this is a Chinese herbs. I mean, the Chinese, we are very used to boiling all these herbs. You know, our parents would boil and force you to eat, right? So when I was doing exams, when I was younger in school and exams and all that, right, my mother would always boil all these herbs together with the heart of the pig's heart and all that, etc. lah. Okay. Anyway, I don't know whether it is useful or not. So that's why TCM has a lot of wisdom, right? We have to make it in the scientific way so that it's efficacious. We just want to make sure that it's efficacious. That means it's effective. Number one, it has to be safe, and it has to be of the highest quality. So to be effective, right, we have to standardize the product. Otherwise, you will get, like what I say, conflicting results. Okay, so this is the 3 parts of making any supplements. Very important: efficacy, safety, highest quality. And this is how this 6S quality process came about. In fact, I think 6S quality process was developed by Pharmanex, not by Nu Skin. As you know, right, Nu Skin started in 1994, Pharmanex started in 1998 by scientists, by Dr. Michael Chang, Dr. Joe Chang, and later on they invited Dr. Carl Djerassi to join the team. So Pharmanex was started 4 years after Nu Skin, and it was actually started by scientists. And the name says so. Pharmanex is actually the pharmacy of the next generation. Okay, so they are scientists. So they come from the Western medical field. So they know how important it is to make all these TCM supplements, right, standardized. That's why they came out with these 6S quality process. And of course, when Pharmanex was bought over by Nu Skin, we also infused this 6S quality process into our personal care products. Okay, so I'll go through the 6S. So number 1, selection. Okay, see, Nu Skin has many scientists, 70+ scientists, in-house scientists, and then we collaborate with the medical affiliates around the world. So they do not just anyhow decide to sell a product. Unlike the company that I just mentioned, right? They will market, sell any product that is in trend right now. So right now, this particular thing is very in trend, they will sell it very fast. You see on the shelf very fast, right? For Pharmanex, for Nu Skin, is different. They will work with experts, and then they go through historical data. They'll go through, they pour over documents, scientific insights, within new scientific insights, etc., and then to identify the best ingredients for our products based on effectiveness, whether it is suitable for formulation, and whether is there a consumer safety or not. It means they need a team of expertise who has a know-how to pour through these documents. I think it's a very dry job, right? To pour through all these historical data, right? Something that's effective, something that is safe as well. And then you can formulate, it has to be stable. Then you'll start to select this item. Right? And then, okay, give me an example for selection, right? Pharmanex, I quote an example of Probio PCC. We know that probiotics are extremely beneficial to the human body, to our gut, right? But Nu Skin chose Probio PCC, a particular strain called Lactobacillus fermentum PCC, because it meets the criteria of these few criteria: pH survival. I think the last round I mentioned during the PX training, right? That the probiotic has to survive the pH, the acidic pH in the stomach. The stomach is very acidic, pH 2 to 3 only, right? But you want the probio to act in the small intestine. So if you cannot survive this acidic pH, right, all die already, there's nothing that goes, all the probiotic that goes into your small intestine are all dead. So it's useless. So number 1, it has to survive, right? Number 2, it has to be able to colonize. It has to be able to attach itself to the small intestine for it to work. Then 3rd is identity. Oh, because recently got study showing probiotics helps COVID patients. Okay, we better don't mention because Nu Skin very strict on that. Okay, right? Only mention in private to people that are close to you. Okay. Okay, 3rd is identity. See, there are so many lactobacillus strains of probiotics, isn't it? Yakult is also lactobacillus, but it's acidophilus. So Fermentum PCC is the one that Pharmanex chose because it was actually isolated from a Swedish woman years ago. They found that this particular woman, right, she has very healthy gut. She's not susceptible to diarrhea, etc. And they found that she has a lot of these lactobacillus fermentum PCC inside her. And this is a strain that helps humans, right? So sometimes, right, there may be a question, can I give our probio to our pets, for example? But the pets' intestinal flora may be different from humans. So we have to see, okay? And then dosing. How much is left upon expiration? Or how much on a container it says, does it really have that kind of amount when it reaches your gut? Okay, so that's why Probio PCC was selected. Okay, then for personal care, they selected Avapuhi. If you notice, if you go and Google Avapuhi, oh sorry, spelling error, Avapuhi Moni. Moni means true in Hawaiian. So true Avapuhi. If you search for Avapuhi, right, you only see Epic range of products because thanks to Dr. Paul Cox, he's our ethnobotanist on Nu Skin's scientific advisory board, and he is a man, I think there are only 30 of them in the whole world, and he is a man who understands, who is able to speak the indigenous culture, the language. He's able to communicate with all these indigenous cultures, and those people, right, they only use whatever is in the rainforest, in the forest, for their everyday supplies, medical supplies, for their personal care supplies, etc. So they use Avapuhi to shower, to wash your hair, right? And but Avapuhi, right, the main compound, the main parts of the plant that they use is actually from this bulb here, this reddish color thing, so they squeeze it out, right? Yeah, so they squeeze it out. So Epic was actually the first product line to use the correct part of the plant, used by the indigenous culture, people of Hawaii. And then to cultivate the plant, right, Nu Skin actually has, has a very close working relationship with an independent agricultural source in Hawaii. So if you haven't tried the Epic range of shampoos and conditioner, go and try them. It's very silky, After using, very silky and it smells really good. Okay, that's how we selected Epic range for personal care. Then the second S is actually sourcing. Okay, so once you select the particular ingredients to make into a product, you need to source, right? You need to source for the raw materials. And sourcing also takes a lot of knowledge, right? A lot of knowledge, because unlike drugs are made in the lab. You have the right compounds, the right temperature, humidity, maybe the right whatever agents, solvents, and all that, you can make a drug in the lab. Agree? Right. But if it's a traditional Chinese medicine, if it's a supplement, it has to come from nature. So to come from nature, the world is so big, right? So where do we get it from? Do we have the knowledge, the expertise to know where to get the raw materials from? Yeah, okay. So Nu Skin identifies the best source of ingredients based on number one, availability. Is it freely available? If this product is very good, okay, but it's available in a small quantity only, means they will not choose this product. And one of the example given was actually Pycnogenol. Pycnogenol is a very potent antioxidant. It's from this tree bark, the pine tree bark, right? But if you were to remove the bark, you don't need the tree, you only take the bark. So if your Pycnogenol sells very well, right, so many trees will be stripped of their bark, right? So Nu Skin decided not to produce Pycnogenol because it's just not viable, right? Then, okay, they also identify the best source of ingredients based on quality. Is a quality good? I think one of the examples given was actually the purple corn, right? So purple corn from China, purple corn of Peru for our white span. So we use the one from Peru because the one from China is cheaper, but the quality is not the same. Okay, and then based on concentration of key ingredient components, and our scientists, I mean, we don't just trust the suppliers for giving us a product, the raw materials. We actually send a team of scientists to the place and then to test for so many things, so density, moisture, heavy metals, pesticides, solvent residue, microbiology, such as all these bacteria, E. coli, etc. So if any parts fails, the entire shipment is rejected. That's how stringent Nu Skin is. Okay, so most companies will not. So maybe the pesticide content is a little bit high, they may close one eye, right? Maybe the moisture, or too high moisture content, they close two eyes, right? A lot of companies are like that because it just boils down to profit and loss, right? Money. Okay, so that is a lot of work. This is only part 2 of the S, the second S only, right? So example for Pharmanex is BioGinkgo. See, if you look at BioGinkgo, I think also on the bottle, right, you see leaves, the ginkgo leaves, right? Who eats ginkgo leaves here? If you eat cheng teng, right, you only see the ginkgo nut, the white color one. Or there are some desserts with a lot of ginkgo, right? Ginkgo dessert, very not cheap, Yeah, because to process the ginkgo nut, there's a lot of work, right? You got to remove the middle part. That's the part that is toxic, and it's a lot of work. But actually, the ginkgo active ingredient is on the leaves. It's inside the leaves, not on the nut itself. So if I'm a supplier who doesn't have this knowledge, right, I'll just buy the ginkgo nut and grind and give to you ginkgo. Okay, so ginkgo actives are actually found in the leaves and is harvested very strict period from September to November only. And from this place in Jiangsu, China and Shandong area, not the whole of China, only these two areas. And they harvest from young ginkgo plants that is 5 years and below. Okay, so when they harvest, right, they also test the water source, the pesticides used, right, of their supplier, and the neighboring farmers. That means not their supplier, neighboring farmers, do they use pesticides? Because you flow into the ground. All this will affect heavy metal contamination as well. So actually to sell raw materials to Pharmanex Nu Skin is not easy, you know, because we are so strict. And because of this strictness, right, my interest is protected. Okay, I can eat the products for life and I have no worries about contamination, about safety. Okay, the other example for Pharmanex is Reishi Max. Okay, excuse me. So reishi, right, there are many reishis, many strains of reishis. So 62 types of reishi mushroom. The red reishi produces the highest quality extract. And Reishi Max uses red reishi, which Nu Skin cultivates in carefully controlled conditions. See, Lingzi grows actually around, I think in those very moldy, moist areas by the trees and all these. So if you were to harvest from there, there is a lot of sources of contamination. So some companies, they actually cultivate their own reishi in-house by using sawdust method, right? But Nu Skin doesn't use sawdust method. We cultivate reishi based on what we call solid woodlot cultivation with low light and high humidity to create the high quality reishi extract found in the wooded mountains of Southeast China. So one wooden log, right? Same size, every single piece, we only plant one reishi. One log, one reishi. So sometimes there are companies you may come across, one log, they have multiple reishis, but we are very strict. One log, one reishi, to ensure that the nutrients inside this log is fully going to nourish this reishi plant. Okay, this is what Nu Skin is doing, and we control the environment ourselves to mimic the quality that is found in the Southeast China, the wooded mountains. Okay, yeah, everything is measured. But actually, if you do not have knowledge, right, you wouldn't know what to measure, you know. You have no idea what to measure. You probably measure by the weight only. Reishi powder, how many grams per capsule, exact, right? The other example for personal care, for sourcing, is Glacier Marine Mud. I think these are star products, right? Many of us love Glacier Marine Mud, and we know that it's actually obtained from a remote glacial estuary in the Pacific Northwest. So this mud is covered by 8 to 10 foot tides every single day, you know. Every single day, the tide is so high, but we don't take the whole bunch of the mud. We dig down, we discard the top layer, and then we mine 3 to 4 foot down. Very consistent, 3 to 4 foot deep only. Not less than that, not more than that. Because this 3 to 4 foot, right, ensures consistency for every single batch of your mud. And this mud is actually constantly enriched by the ocean and nearby mountain springs. Well, sounds very nice, right? Giving it more than 50 beneficial minerals and trace elements, and etc. etc. Okay, so that's why we chose Glacier Marine Mud for the second S. Okay, now talking about sourcing, right? I want to talk a little bit about this GrowViv technology. And I think this GrowViv technology in future, I think, is going to replace all our sourcing. Yeah, because if we can grow everything ourselves in a controlled environment, responsibly nourishing the world, right? Then there's no need to source from outside sources, isn't it? There's no need to fly everywhere to get the best quality product. Because if you understand the DNA of the plant and you know what exactly to use in this environment here, the temperature, the humidity, maybe the lighting, etc., etc., you know, you are able to grow the best plant every single day, isn't it? And use less land, less water, and gives you very high yield and very nutrient-rich yield. So Grow Wheat is going to be the future, right? And that's why I love the tagline a lot, giving seeds the perfect day every single day. Okay, it means we can control such that every yield that we have is the same. Isn't that wonderful? There's no need to reject anything, because you are growing the perfect crop every single day. Okay. Okay. Third point, third S is specification. Okay. Like I say earlier, right? If you have no knowledge of all these, right, you wouldn't know. Somebody's mic is on. Please help me off it, please. Thank you. So if you do not have the knowledge, you have no idea what to standardize, right? So reishi is very good. Ginkgo is very good, but how much of what to standardize? So you need to specify, right? So for finished products, right, Nu Skin has created specifications so that every single batch, we can follow these specs, right? For active compounds, for ingredients, for the criteria for the finished products, especially for skincare, right? So if you look at your Pharmanex bottles at home, if you have like T-Green, Reishi Max, right? Don't just look at the label, because the label will say each capsule contains how many grams of don't know what, right? But you turn to the one with the words and all these, the text one, very, very tiny, and you'll tell you, right, it's standardized to how many % of what ingredients, okay? So specification, I'm going to come into it, right? So using state-of-the-art analytical techniques, Nu Skin conducts structural analysis of the natural compounds in selected botanicals. So like T-Green, right? We have 97, we're standardized to every single capsule, 97% polyphenol extract. And from this 97%, right, at least 2/3 are catechins. Right? This is the active ingredient. So we specify that. Because if you are manufacturing green tea capsule, you have no knowledge. I'm selling you a green tea capsule. I grind the green tea leaves to sell to you. I am not wrong. I am not wrong. As long as I give you every single capsule the same weightage, you buy my product, not wrong. But every capsule will have different amount of active ingredient, different amount of polyphenols and catechins. And this is the one that gives you the effect. Okay? So Nu Skin must specify it so that every single capsule, right, you must have 97% polyphenol and 2/3 are catechins. And reishi is actually standardized to 6% triterpenes and 13.5% polysaccharides. This is the active ingredient, not just a reishi powder. Okay, and this active ingredient is actually found on the spores of the reishi mushroom. Mushroom, right? You see a mushroom is like an umbrella. It's at the umbrella there. Right? The spores are inside there, and you need to crack the spores to release the active ingredient. So far, I think there are some companies who is able to standardize the amount of triterpenes. It can tell you this capsule got how many % triterpenes. But so far, we have not seen any companies that's able to tell you, do they have polysaccharides or not? They'll just tell you, oh, this particular capsule has how many milligrams of reishi powder. Then they'll add other things inside, how many milligrams of ginseng, how many milligrams of don't know what, to beef up the product to sell you at a higher price. But you don't need that. You need active ingredient only. Okay? And then for personal care, each personal care product has a set specification. For aesthetics, that means for the external look. So if you're looking at creams and all these gels, lotion, right, the feel, the texture, the sensory, the color. You cannot have one batch white color, the other batch grayish color, right? Or the other batch a reddish color. So it has to be consistent. The viscosity, the thickness of the creams or the lotions or the gel cannot be, this batch I use, oh, very thick cream, then next batch like water like that. So there must be standards, right? And a pH. Yeah, many things to think about. Yeah, so that's why it's very puzzling, right? Some companies can, oh, now CoQ10 is in the trend. Boom, tomorrow you have a CoQ10 product, right? It's amazing, right? It's amazing that they don't really care what's inside the capsule, okay? And then Nu Skin also checks each product is within the specs before they release it out. Okay, for sale, right? So standardization, now you know the specification already. Now you know how much of what in each capsule, etc. Then you can standardize. You must first have the specs first. If you have no specs, there's no need to standardize anything. Agree? Right? So it's very important to standardize so that every single capsule is the same. This capsule I take in Singapore, another capsule taken in Indonesia, another capsule taken in US will be exactly the same. So any of these capsule I use it to run a clinical trial, I should yield the same result, right? It should yield the same result. And this is a very important process. This is achieved through strict standardization processes that were developed through chemical fingerprinting, right? So if you have no knowledge, no technology, no tools, there's no way you can standardize. How do you know how to standardize if you have no tools, no technology? How to standardize 6% triterpenes in Reishi Max and 13.5% polysaccharides? How? How do you see it in a capsule like that? Through your eyes, through microscope? No, it has to be through some machine, some tools that's able to give you this fingerprinting, chemical fingerprinting. Okay, that is why making a high quality supplement is not cheap, and it has a lot of science behind. It's not just about encapsulating the powder together. Okay. So example of standardization for Pharmanex, right? Cordymax, you know, our Cordymax, Cordyceps sinensis CS4, right? Thank you. Cordyceps, there are many strains of Cordyceps as usual, but this is the best strain that is grown on a Tibetan plateau at 14,000 feet above sea level, right? So this is the best strain. So if you want, that's why Cordyceps is very, very expensive. If you want this strain, right, you got to send somebody up to this Tibetan mountain, 14,000 feet high, to collect this and sell it to you, you know. That's why it's fit for emperors in the olden days, right? So, of course, Nu Skin don't harvest from this Tibetan plain, right? We have the particular license from the Chinese government to have but we use documented and consistent fermentation process to produce Cordymax in our lab, a unique strain, this CS4 strain that is standardized to adenosine and mannitol. Okay, it's amazing, right? Nu Skin is just amazing. That's why our products, right? Our products is actually very potent, you know. It's very potent because every capsule is full of the active ingredient. It's full of active ingredient. If you don't believe me, right, you try and open up Reishi Max, the capsule, and then put it in a glass of water. And you buy some other brands, open up, put in a glass of water. You notice, right, after you send it for a while, Reishi, the whole glass of water, right, is almost black in color. Very strong smell, and you go and drink it. Very strong smell. Other brands, likely you'll just sink to the bottom. It doesn't even dissolve. You just sink to the bottom, the powder, and then the top is all clear water. Okay, it's very different, right? Ours really is very potent. Yeah, it's very affordable. Cordymax is only $50 per bottle of 120 capsule, no? Only 150 plus only for 120 capsules. So cheap because we have a way to manufacture. And we have this license from the China government to manufacture our Cordymax so that every capsule is standardized. Yeah, true, Rosanna. Looking at these, right, our products are really super cheap for people who know and appreciate 6S. So standardization for personal care, active ingredients are tested at clinically effective doses. And this one sets the standard, the basis for the standards. And compliance of all these OTC standards, blah, 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 it doesn't really matter. But basically, right, we have the specs for all these personal care, and every single batch, every single bottle, we make sure we standardize according to this batch. So every single bottle is the same. Okay. Oh, your kids love Cordymax. Great. Yeah. Especially for chesty cough. Cordymax is very good for chesty cough. But like I say, the last meeting, right? Cordymax for young children, you got to use with caution. Once the chesty cough improve or the asthma improve, right, you stop using because Cordymax promotes sexual maturity in young children. Okay. The fifth S is about safety. Is safety important to you? May I know? Or you just want the effective products? You don't really care about safety. Is safety important to you? Safety is super, super important, right? Yeah, very, very important. But if a product is safe but not effective, would you buy it? Very safe product, but not effective. So why waste money, right? Effective and safety must go hand in hand, right? So Nu Skin uses ingredients in safe amounts, and we conduct standard tests specific to nutrition and personal care to check for microbes. You don't want any microbes inside. We want to check for heavy metal and contaminants, right? We don't want any of these because we want to take it for long term. For skincare, right? We check for irritation potential and potential for allergic reactions. Very important. And I put down here at PX100. Anybody knows what is PX100? Look what happened, Andrea de Cruz. Yeah, no safety, liver gone. Yeah, she took a Slim 10, slimming product. Yes, I think she bought 4 bottles, 2 bottles from my old company. We got into a lawsuit that time. Okay, and she, you know, no, not her. The lady, I think was a very big size lady, right? She bought 4 bottles of Slim 10, she consumed, and she died because of that. Yeah, the lady bought from my ex company. Okay, PX100, you almost bought, Zoe. Wow, luckily, man. Luckily, you did not. Never trust celebrity endorsement. True. Yeah, one person died, yeah, the lady. So PX100, it just means a safety index of 100. Yeah, lucky you. Safety index of 100. So let's say at this dose, we tested is safe, right? So we want a very huge safe margin. It means if you accidentally ingest 100 times of this dosage, right, it's still safe. It's called PX100. Safety index indicator in PADR. Not so sure about PDR, or is it something we have it for ourselves? Actually, Nu Skin never really publicized this PX100 because, you know, scientists are very conservative people. Distributors dare to eat a lot, you know. It means we have a certain condition, you know, we eat multiple dose, double dose, triple dose, quadruple dose, right? This is what distributors will do. But scientists are very conservative one. But yet they want to have high safety margins. So even if a child were to accidentally ingest the whole bottle, it's still safe. Then they'll pass the product. Okay, they were researching a particular Chinese herb, right? Fantastic for weight loss, very effective, but safety index only 12. That's why they aborted the whole production. It means they passed through 4S, right? The 5th S failed because safety index only PX12. So they aborted that particular product. Okay. So we know for Pharmanex, right, safety, we like to quote marine omega because marine source materials can be exposed to high levels of contaminants. So Nu Skin tests every single batch of our marine omega, every single batch. You know, they don't just test one batch only. Every batch that we buy from the fishermen, because we cannot really harvest all these deep sea fish, right? So we cannot farm them. If it's a farm salmon, farm anchovies, and nobody farms anchovies. Farm salmon, for example, the omega-3 content is not high one because omega-3 is from the flesh of the fish, and it has to be from deep sea fish. Okay, then you have a very fatty flesh and all that. That's where you get omega-3. So that's quite impossible to farm your own salmon with a very high content of omega-3, right? So every single batch that we get from fishermen, Nu Skin will run through contaminant tests, 60 to 80 contaminant tests, and like test for things like mercury, dioxin, heavy metals, and every single test costs about $1,000 US. So if they want to test for mercury, 1,000. Test for dioxin, another 1,000. Test for heavy metals, there's so many types of heavy metals, right? 1,000 each. So 60 to 80 contaminant tests per batch. But because we have a big volume, right? So there's economy of scale. So if you ask yourself, a supplier, I am selling a product for profit. Would you pay so much to test? You may not. I think most companies will not. Even if they do, right, they test one batch. They test one batch from this particular vendor. Oh yeah, seems like your fish is clean. Subsequently, I buy from you, I will not test anymore. Actually, Slim 10 also same thing. The first batch, it was tested. But subsequent batches, it was adulterated. That's why it caused somebody to die. But Nu Skin tests every single batch. Because the first batch may be okay, but subsequent batches, you have no idea. These are all from nature, right? Okay, so that is Pharmanex Marine Omega. That's why we dare to give Marine Omega to pregnant women, to infants, to babies, to old people, elderly people. We are that sure of Marine Omega. But if you know, right, doctors will always tell pregnant women not to limit the amount of fish intake per week because they are afraid of contamination, toxins from the fish. So if a person is pregnant, the doctor will say, you only take how many portions of fish per week. Don't take every day because in case there is a toxin inside and builds up and you harm the fetus. But we'll give Marine Omega to pregnant women, lactating mothers. We'll give to babies, right? Either fed through the mother's breast milk. That means if it's an infant, newborn infant, right? Fed Marine Omega through the mother's breast milk. That means the mother pass through the breast milk for the kid, right? So if the kid is bigger, able to to take liquid, right? Then squeeze out that means cut the capsule, squeeze out the oil, and feed to the kid. If the kid can chew, the whole capsule give the kid and chew, so they'll spit out the capsule shell. But when they grow older, right, they'll love it and they'll just swallow everything. Okay, go and try on young children. And Marine Omega is fantastic for building the brains, the cells in the brains for kids 6 years and below, the number of cells. So if a child is young or the mother is still pregnant, take Marine Omega, it helps to build the brain cells for the kid, right? So past 6 years and above, it can only increase the size of the brain cells. Okay, so personal care, Nu Skin performs extensive safety testing throughout the entire development process, right? They'll identify formulations that have the lowest irritation potential and further develop this into final products, okay? And they will conduct the following evaluations. Irritation, how irritating it is on the skin. Some ingredients are very easily, it's like irritant, you know. You put a bit only, it start to itch. So they'll choose things that is low in irritation. They also do this human repeat insult patch test. That means keep insulting, keep repeated insult on the skin and see how the skin responds. And they also do sting panel. I'm not very sure about what is this sting panel. It's like giving a small amount to sting the face or something like that. Okay, so they do all this testing. And also they also extensively test for microbes. Very important, we always test for microbes. We don't want to have a product that that has bacteria, yeast, mold inside the product, the formulation. Okay, that's why our Lumi Spa also the Lumi Spa head, the blue color head, is impregnated with silver. Silver is antimicrobial, even though we wash every day, right? But there could be some residue, and if you don't clean it well, the microorganisms may grow. That's why we impregnate with silver in there. And lastly, we want to substantiate the last S to prove that it really works. So we do scientific testing at the highest level for every single Nu Skin product. Okay, and we will publish and conduct our own study. That means our scientists will refer to literatures, studies on the raw materials, but we also conduct studies on our own final products. Right. So like R-Square, right? So we have our own proprietary gene database, right? We know because we acquire LifeGen. So we have the 25 to 30,000 gene database that we have. And then that's how Nu Skin developed R-Square for cellular energy and purification. And we have actually conducted many studies on the efficacy of R-Square and presented numerous research in numerous conferences around the world. Because R-Square is a very unique product. It doesn't mean that if I can have the same amount of ingredients or same quantity inside the capsule, I can make R-Square. You can't make R-Square. You cannot make R-Square because you don't have the genetic database. Okay, so you can actually also refer to this website for all the clinical papers that we have on our Pharmanex products. And also skincare also, right? Skincare also, we do clinical trials and they always share with their sales leaders, right? Nu Skin. You notice when they have a new product, they'll always share clinical studies that they have. Like the recent ageLOC Boost also, they shared some clinical studies, etc. to our sales leader. So it says this type of transparency is very rare within the industry. So also this is a link for all the personal care clinical papers. Okay, so through 2019, right, Nu Skin Anti-Aging Science, we have so many posters, 91 posters, scientific posters. We're given like 50 awards, and presented 38 oral presentations. And then we have 32 patents pending already, gotten patents already. And then we have 26 scientific articles being published. Okay, this is very wow for a supplement and a personal care company. You agree? Do you find any clinical papers in any supplements company? They could be selling a lot, you know, many variants, but you will not see a single piece of clinical papers. Very difficult to find, yeah, because clinical studies are not cheap. But we have 75 in-house scientists, and we have labs. We have labs in Provo, Utah. We have labs in Shanghai. We can conduct our own clinical trials, isn't it? We have our expertise, you know. That's why nothing on your website. Yeah, true. I mean, if you go to any supplement company or any other companies, you see very nice facades. Very nice showcase, very nice. But you want to find science, very difficult to find. At most, you find one scientist, two scientists. But how can one or two scientists develop so many products? Just on the video you saw, right? They need so many disciplines of scientists, so many types of clinicians, toxicologies, biologies, microbiologies, so many types to just develop a product. So how can one or two person develop a whole range of product? So you really have to use your mind, be a wise consumer. Okay, some websites you went to mention, only one mention in the entire site, yeah. Because what they want is marketing. So if a consumer is educated and is very wise, they will know what to look for and not be blown away by all these very nice facades. Okay. So that's why this 6S quality process is really the heart and soul of the company. And this is the most priceless thing about Nu Skin, because this whole process that I just went through with you is very rigorous. You need a lot of expertise and not a lot of knowledge. You cannot compromise. That's why it exceeds industry standard, right? Nobody comes even close, to this 6S quality process. Nobody comes even close. Not at all. They already fail at the selection part because they are mostly commercial-based company. Anything that is popular, they will sell. Anything that's popular, they will sell, but not Nu Skin, not Nu Skin, right? So these are the foundational principles to guide product development all the way until you get the end product, to make sure the efficacy, the safety, and the quality is assured through each and every step. So like I mentioned, right, the TCM that is very good for slimming, it fails the safety index. So that's why at step 5, it failed, only PX12. That's why they abort it. So I'm not so sure whether this is proven or not, because I heard that for every single product that they develop by Nu Skin Pharmanex, it's a minimum of $1 million investment for every single product. But it's not verified. I just heard this only. So $1 million, if you are looking at drugs point of view, it's not much. But if you're looking at supplements point of view, right, it's a lot of money, because no other companies will invest that kind of money for that purpose. Okay, so with these, here, heart and soul, yeah, it's really the heart and soul. It spells what Nu Skin is. And that is why, maybe when we have a chance, right, I can talk about how Pharmanex came about and how Nu Skin acquired. Because Pharmanex was actually started by scientists, very science-based company, but they got acquired by Nu Skin because of our product philosophy. We have the same philosophy. So many other companies actually wanted to buy over Pharmanex at a very high price, but it got sold to Nu Skin, if I'm not wrong, for only 120 million only. Very cheap, Yeah, because the philosophy match, I'm a scientist, right? I don't really care much about profit. I just want the best product for humans. And as I develop, I want to give you the best. And that's why our Life Pack is 4 tablets. Our Life Pack Nano is 7 capsule, right? No other commercial-based company will give you a 7 capsule product and tell you to take twice a day. And don't really care how you swallow them, because you need them. So these are the science-based company, started by scientists. They just want to give you the best. Okay, so with that, today's sharing, I hope you really gotten what the gist is about of 6S and what makes Nu Skin Pharmanex different from the other companies. Even though sometimes other companies may seem to mimic Nu Skin Pharmanex, may seem to mimic, packaging may look like the same, or they may have something similar to this 6S quality process, right? But it's never the same because you know how rigorous this whole process is, how much work, how much expertise is needed to go into this 6S quality process to come up with an end product. Okay, so hope this session helps you and you can take our products with peace of mind and don't be shy and not afraid to recommend to anybody around you, even very young children, provided the product is suited for them. Okay, so with that, I am my sharing today. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Right. Thank you for your kind words and thanks for tuning in. Right. Thank you. So I'm going to end the session. Right. Oh, sorry. Thank you.